Hi, everyone. This is Krista Moore, and welcome to the Krista Moore Show. This is show number 113, and I'm really excited about our guest today because we're going to be talking about soaring with purpose and passion, even in a pandemic. Many of us have experienced hardship and loss during the past 12 months, and often it was difficult for many businesses, especially if you were in the hospitality and service world. So my guest today has kind of risen to the occasion. She's continued to live with purpose and meaning as she's built a new business during the pandemic. And I'm excited for you to meet Andrea Herrera. And we're going to be having a girl conversation today. We're going to be talking about how she did it, why she did it, how was she able to continue to transform her customer and her business during such a hard time. So let's go ahead and welcome Andrea. Hi there. How are you?
Hi, good afternoon. I'm great. Thank you so much for having me, Krista.
It's good to see you. And you're in Chicago. You actually, that's a great city. I used to live there. I don't know if we had that conversation, but I love Chicago. And it seems like when you had your catering business, which you still have, obviously, you kind of owned the town. I mean, you are very, very famous and popular in Chicago for your catering business. So I'd like for you to just tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll dive into some of the shifts and changes that you've gone through over the past year.
Sure. Thank you. So good to be here. I have a 25-year-old legacy company, Amazing Edibles Catering, and we foster relationship building at bread-breaking events. And we have worked with corporate, industrial, educational, and private clients for the last 25 years. I have an amazing team, and we have catered for Oprah Winfrey, and we have catered for Lamborghini and all sorts of fun things like that, and backyard parties. And corporate lunches. So we have
I was reading a little bit about the company and the progress. I mean, 25 years is significant. And then to be in a service-oriented business for that long and continue to thrive and to grow, to have the accolades of Oprah loves your roasted vegetables, all of that's like really freaking awesome. And then what happens? The world changes, right? And so many other people that have similar businesses or even not necessarily service businesses were impacted.
Exactly. So last March, just a year ago from when we were taping this, going live today, the country started shutting down like much of the world. And on Friday, March 11th, all our orders started canceling. And on Friday the 13th, I laid off 80% of our team because all of our work for the next 2 months had disappeared. And as I've had a company a long time, I went through 9/11, I went through 2001, and I had no idea what we were looking at that point, but I knew that this was big and I needed to act quickly.
Yeah. And I want to understand a little bit about acting quickly, because you certainly live your life with purpose and meaning and passion, and you've got your set of core values, and you've instilled that culturally in your company and in all the work that you do. So I want to hear that part about how you were able to maintain that through really a crisis.
Sure. So my personal values are joy and connection and freedom and independence. And I believe my purpose in life is to foster connection, to create community. And so I do that through catering. And we pivoted and we started doing family meal delivery service, and we did first responder meals. And I pretty quickly figured out this was going to last longer than a few weeks, and that those lines of business were not going to sustain us. So on Easter Sunday morning, I sent a note to 30 brilliant entrepreneurs around the world through my entrepreneurs organization community, saying, here are my strengths, here are my talents. I can't see beyond what I've been doing for 25 years. What can you see? And so I used my connections and I used my community to get ideas. And I got some brilliant ideas and I got some crazy ideas. But over
Oh,
two
wait. Okay, I want to hear some of the ideas. Because first off, I know the organization you're referring to. It's the Entrepreneurs Organization, and I'm a huge fan and an alumni. But I could only imagine some of the thoughts that came from that type of group, right?
right.
And they're bold, they're brave, they're ambitious. And what are some ideas that they had?
And they are. We have award-winning mac and cheese. So a few people said, oh, just package that and sell it all over the country. We had the idea of kids that looked like we're going to be out of school for a while. So turn your people into like childcare people and do small pods and become teachers, kind of nannies, and send them out to people's homes to watch their kids. Do a high-end kind of concierge grocery service, because at that time it took 3 to 4 weeks to get an order from Whole Foods delivered to your home, and everyone was afraid to go to grocery stores.
Yes.
And the idea I settled on, which became Boxperience, I was speaking with a friend, Laura Webb, who's an EO member down in Florida, and her partner, Alex. And they came up with this brilliant idea. He was a top salesperson and said, I can't connect with my clients. I'm going crazy. I can't hop on planes. I can't take them to lunch. I can't take them golfing. I need to connect with them. And that eventually became a really personalized, beautiful gift.
Oh, yeah. And you know what I love about it? Because you had a lot of choices, right? And any of those probably would have been just fine. I really like the mac and cheese one, because what that just said is, take what you're great at, take that award-winning mac and cheese and, blow it up, right? And that may have been sustainable, at least in the interim. But it looks like you were able to create a new company out of something you knew was going to be sustainable. And because there was a need that was identified, especially for companies and salespeople, right? Because meeting in person became impossible. So you took this vision and expanded it, what you already do for connectivity. And now, instead of it just being in Chicago, you're creating it for all of America. And really a way to keep people and get people together and feel that connectivity, which is your passion.
There you go. It all kind of worked.
That's great. So I have some pictures up here of Boxperience, which it looks like a separate company to your catering company, or do you combine them in any way, or is there any kind of synergy?
So Amazing Edibles is kind of the parent company, but we did keep a small team of 6 on. And so while we were doing some catering, very, very little, I could repurpose our chef, instead of doing meals for hundreds of people, was instead making beautiful spice mixes and chocolate pecan truffles for our Kentucky Derby box. And making foods to go in the boxes. Our operations team helped packing and assembling them and then getting them out the door. So I was able to use my same team and my space and my licensing. And we made about 20 different boxes. We partnered with people, because I have liquor licenses and such. We're one of the few gift box companies that can ship liquor and wine around the country. And there was a lot of drinking this pandemic, so that was helpful. And then we discovered, I worked with Fran Biederman Gross out of EO, New York, and she helped me create the branding. And we came upon these awesome video and audio cards, so we could have the person sending the gift give a super personalized message that someone would open up and hear their voice or see their face.
Oh, I was wondering about that. So, so tell me a little bit more about the video aspect. I mean, it's a differentiator, let's say, from some of the other boxed experiences that people are trying. But it's so personalized.
I think that is really what sets us apart. Our boxes are high end. They cost about $200, but there's a lot of customization on the box. We do a call to action. We do the company or the recipient's name. Inside, we have monogrammed gift items. You see the beautiful cheese board here. We have Corksicle wine glasses. We have champagne flutes. But then there's this audio or video card. And so you can put a 1 to 3 minute message. So when someone opens what looks like a gift card, all of a sudden your voice, Krista, starts saying, oh, I want to soar with you in the year to come. I look forward to the time we can get together. Until then, let's pop open this bottle of bubbles, catch up on a Zoom and touch base. And so it's a beautiful personal gift that there are lots of gifts in boxes and people send people wine, but it's so curated and personalized to the recipient that there is no way they don't pick up the phone and call you to thank you and connect, which is what most people want right now. So we've had great success with entrepreneurial companies, with large companies whose sales teams are grounded, who really want to connect in a significant way. And we did a couple thousand over the holiday season and up through the end of year. And we are now kind of working on quarterly programs to get people to stay connected, because I think these two businesses will live side by side. We will do catering. Weddings are coming back, so we'll be doing that business. But early in the week, there's no catering, so we can put our energy and focus on Bucksperience. So they will be sister companies.
Yeah, and I'm going to add something to this, and you probably have already thought about that, but so I've transitioned my business to more retreats, right? And more intimate kind of settings. But what I like in advance of them attending a hybrid retreat or a virtual retreat is that they do get that gift box delivered to their house with kind of my personal things in it, but different food or wine or maybe the programming guide. I'm curious, do you custom package what somebody might want with promotional items, or you had mentioned you have 20 boxes, or do you just pick from those 20?
So absolutely. We do have about 20 standard boxes, but we've done lots of customized boxes. We've done some for the Entrepreneurs Organization community. We did some for a leadership program where we put in books that they were reading. We put in the program, but we also put in Bloody Marys to start their day off so that we could kick off the conference. And they had some practical things. They had some EO branded items that felt significant because they were members of that organization, but we also had some fun in there. So we can create boxes for an organization just, representing you.
Yeah, that's great. I love that, because I think not only will corporations, but individual entrepreneurs or different businesses want to now send a personalized box for, just it's that connectivity part that you're referring to. We're no longer in person, but yet you can kind of be there.
Exactly. And I think there's something, these boxes are commensurate with the value of the relationship, right? You don't really, Fruit of the Month Club is lovely, but if your relationship is worth more than a dozen oranges, sending that isn't exactly the message you're trying to send. So you, as a really creative entrepreneur who's going to help people to soar, you want to do something that is enlivening and enriching and your colors and your brand and your words. And so when they open that, you are giving them a message of what this retreat is going to be, how this program is going to be, and they're going to dive right into it. So it's a really exciting way to be able to share people's messages.
Yeah, I love it. Well, congratulations on just the decision to make the shift, a necessary decision. But I would imagine that it wasn't easy. And I would imagine that the sales process, so to speak, is very different than perhaps your catering business. I noticed in the heyday of Amazing Edibles, I mean, you've had operations and salespeople and chefs. So where do you see kind of the future?
So as I mentioned, yes, we had about 25 staff pre-pandemic. We're down to about 6, but we're going to start booking up. We have about 75 weddings planned this year. So
that's a big deal.
Should this pandemic continue to recede and everyone gets their vaccinations, love is love and people are celebrating. So we're super excited to bring people back and get people back to work. However, the Bucksperience, I think, will stay relevant because I think a lot of people will not travel for business for quite a while.
That's right. Yeah.
So we're excited to be able to use these for associations and groups, but also for companies who are looking to build their relationships with potential clients and current clients. But it was definitely hard.
I'm curious too, are you able to kind of dovetail off of the original company when it comes to your database, the people that your network?
Yes.
Does that come
Actually,
into play?
Not so very much.
Mhm.
I think that was one area that I didn't realize how much. I think we had a brand name that was recognizable, but this is kind of a higher end product, and I work a lot with universities and not-for-profit organizations for whom this is kind of a luxury product.
Sure.
And so my 2,500 person newsletter list was great to share this information with, but they weren't necessarily my target clients.
Yeah, you've got some not only wonderful large corporations in Chicago, which is certainly a target if you want to play off of your reputation as a catering company, but now your world's completely expanded, right?
Yes.
With the ability to ship anywhere in the U.S.
Yes, so we really do have a national opportunity now, which was important to me. But it was hard. It was like relearning. I'd started my company 25 years ago, and all of a sudden I had a startup business. And I had 6 people in the office to run programs and create spreadsheets and create social media. And I went to one half of a person who was helping me launch this. So the startup was hard. I kind of forgot it. I'm a super hard worker, and you just kind of buckle down. I engaged some people to help me. I also had a sales coach who helped me kind of build my sales playbook and prepare myself to kind of start doing cold calls again. But it took some perseverance to kind of say, okay, you just have to keep going. This is going to be hard. It's new. It's different, but you can do this. You can do this. You have support. You have opportunity. Go. And so
I'm thinking of a few companies that we work with today that we're consulting on their sales process and strategy because they're making a pivot and a shift in their business. And it always comes back to, what are you great at? And what do you love? What would you do every day if you didn't get paid? And some of those might just seem like basic questions, but it is about rediscovering that. And I think you getting all those ideas from the EOers and then kind of a little checklist. Well, does this align to me? Does this align to my purpose and what I want to do? That seems to come out loud and clear for me.
Thank you. I think it did. Like, as I mentioned, my purpose is to foster connection, to create community. And so 25 years in business is a long time. And so about 5 years ago with my catering company, I kind of started getting tired of it. I felt like, okay, I've done this. I've done every meeting. I've done every wedding show. And it took me kind of sitting back and doing some reflection and some journaling and some coaching to figure out, this is exactly in alignment with what's important to me. It's joy and connection. So coming to my business from that standpoint made me kind of revitalized me in the catering company. So as I started that experience, I needed to make sure that those things were present, that I could connect with it that way, because then I could do anything. If I believed in it and I felt there was a real purpose.
Yeah, I think if there's a message for any small business owner out there today, it's that connecting what you're doing to why you're doing it and really living with that meaning and that purpose. It's motivating. It's inspiring. Sure, it was hard work for you, but it was fun. Let's admit it, right?
Yeah, indeed.
That's great. Is there anything else that you would offer to any of the small business owners or entrepreneurs out there that are kind of stuck right now and they're just not sure how to make a transformation?
So I have done a lot of leadership work in the last 5 or 6 years, personally and through my entrepreneurs organization community. And one of the big things is to ask for help. To reach out to your community, to reach out to your friends, to reach out to business people, to reach out to people who are not in your community, but could become part of your community, and kind of say, I'm struggling, I need some help. Because I have found everybody I asked was so generous with their time and their ideas and their support. And as I sent out newsletters and I did social media and I did LinkedIn, people helped me spread my message. I think asking for help is really important. I think making sure that what you're doing is in alignment with your values, and that sometimes takes stepping back and first making sure you're clear on what your values are and that they're true to you, because sometimes people can tell you what to do and it doesn't work. You need to really feel it.
That's great. I love the ask. You know, that's exactly what you did. But there are some people that don't realize that they don't have to do it alone. Ask
Exactly.
and get the creative juices flowing again. And then I love the second step, which is making sure that that aligns to who you are and what you want to do. And there's a way to make money at it.
Yes. Yes. And then it's just grit and perseverance, right? Then you just do the work. But it's so
Yeah,
much easier to do the work if it's in alignment, if you feel supported, if you kind of can get the positive energy and mojo going. So I feel
absolutely.
really, really fortunate to be part of
Well, and
something.
that's why I wanted to hear your story, because I think that there are businesses that are struggling, or they're just kind of hoping and praying that things are going to shift and change and not taking that intentional, proactive action that needs to be done. So hopefully they've heard your story. It's been inspiring, and they've gotten a lot of value out of our conversation today. I wanted to share some contact information. I just put the two websites that we could direct them to. What is the best way to reach you personally?
You can reach me through either website. There are contact me pages, or Andrea at amazingediblescatering.com. You can find me on Facebook and LinkedIn and Instagram, and I'm happy to connect with anyone anywhere, even on Clubhouse. So come find me. I'd love to have conversations from someone who has questions or whom I can help. Or if you have ideas for me, I would love to connect as well.
That sounds awesome. So I just want to thank you, Andrea, for taking my call and my messages to have you on the show. I know that you're busy, but I'm thankful that you took me up on the offer and that we could share your story with our audience. So thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Kristen.
And
It's
you
been a
take
pleasure.
care.
You
Thanks.
too. Thank
All
you.
righty. And I just want to say that all of our shows are recorded. If there's someone that you want to hear this show that wasn't attending today, they could catch it live again on a replay through YouTube and on Facebook. So stay connected, and we will talk with you soon as I continue to interview people about their purpose and their passion, because I want to inspire you to soar in your relationships, your life, and in your career. Take care.